Okay, hey y'all. It's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so the title of this video, and let me just say today is a much better day. I appreciate the support that I have with everyone, just everyone, right? I was feeling the holidays have me feeling a bit down. I know that's natural for most people, but even more so, like it was just a weird holiday. I don't know, emotionally, you guys. Obviously, my website, I just launched the store, so I'm super duper duper excited about that. But I wanted to talk about a lesson really fast because it applies to many, and this is something I realize a lot of people don't talk about. Now, what I was listening to, I was watching this YouTube channel where they were talking about how Bishop T.D. Jakes is going around flagging people and accusing them of slander. As you guys know, we hear the story so many times. For the allegations that are now coming forth, right? And for those who are actually reporting on them, reporting on it, and giving their commentary. And it's very interesting because this guy said, and this is something that I feel like rings true for a lot of situations, is that if it doesn't apply, you let it fly, right? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. People who respond to certain levels of criticism oftentimes look guilty. So what they were saying was Bishop T.D. Jakes looks more guilty for going around and really trying to fight the situation, attacking the situation, um, just really getting angry towards things that are said that are supposedly not true. And I think there's a lot of people who fail to understand that when you respond to certain situations, right? Um, without thinking, it can harm you. The reality of the situation is, and you guys know because I can speak from a testament, like experience. This is what happens. This is the new way of silencing people, is throwing a slander out there, throwing defamation out there. And it usually occurs when people are being held accountable, right? Now, as you know, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, those are a little bit different scenarios, in my opinion. That was a different situation. And if I was Johnny Depp and I experienced certain things as a result of the allegations, then hell yeah, I would have went forth and did what I did too, you know. But the new way of getting people to be quiet, shut up, silence, even when those folks are speaking truth or sharing their truth or their thoughts on their perspective truth, they're being silenced, right? They are going through frivolous lawsuits, right? That are never ending, right? And it's all done with the intent to silence the individual, even though the individual may have had that right to say it. And it's very interesting because from my experience, you would think that common sense is common sense, right? So when you're in well, not really, you should be able to say, in my mind, right, a person should be able to say, hey, look, this is what I did, this is what it is, and they shouldn't have to deal with the long drawn out process of the legal system, right? The judge, in my mind, and this is how I think it should be able to make their decision based off of fucking common sense, because ultimately the judge's mindset always aligns with common sense. However, you have laws that are written in such a way that sometimes, even though they understand it, like if you were talking to a human, the law is just a little bit different, right? And so people utilize litigation as a weapon. And just, I know for myself, going through the long, drawn out process of this, and you really don't understand why you're really going through it, right? You don't agree with it, but you're having to go throughout this process. And for me, I think that certain states, certain judges, certain areas make it all too easy to claim slander. And I understand that's people's legal right, because that's what they say is anybody can bring a lawsuit against anybody for any reason. Well, not any reason. Claimable, or what is it? Whatever. A claim, actionable, whatever that they can do. I don't know. But it is used as a weapon. And I think this word slander, we've got to go back to, and this was something I had said during my situation, right? Which was, if the person is not guilty, right, of what I'm claiming that they are, why the fuck am I going through all this shit? Like, that's the real reason behind. Like, you really have to really ask yourself, like, when people say things about me, it may be something that we may talk about on this channel, but ultimately, does it really matter? Not so much. And the excuse that Bishop T.D. Jakes is using is, oh, well, he's a business person. He's a business person. See, we've been here before. And in my opinion, you got to think about, it should never be on the person that's saying, hey, look, this happened, or this is my experience, or this is my commentary on such and such. A person, if you're in an image where you care about your reputation and you care about your image, it would make sense that you would not put yourself in situations that could be perceived to be something that they're not. Meaning that where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, those types of allegations are not just random allegations. Like, I know people think in the back of their mind that all these people just come out and they're just lying on these folks and they're not being honest and yada yada yada. But the reality of the circumstances, those are not everyday accusations that are made towards people. It's not. So I believe that the allegations could possibly, we'll see. That's all I can say. But I just don't see why he would react the way that he did. To me, I would have came out, if I'm a person on the internet, right? Or a person of prestige, I don't know what the hell he is, but if he's a person of his stature, I would think that you would make a public announcement and or shut up. I think the best option probably would have been to just shut up and see where people's minds were going to go. Because until any sort of legal situations are coming about, I don't feel like you should have to address anything without an attorney. But then again, those are serious allegations. And so again, I genuinely believe, and I've said this every single time, where there is smoke, there is fire. Period. Those are not little baby allegations. I'm just saying. But I do agree with the gentleman. I do believe that defamation and slander has been the new weapon to silence people. Me personally, I think that judges should, and it's hard because the way the law is written is anybody has the ability to sue anybody for any reason, like real talk. So if they feel the action is suable, they can sue, even if it doesn't do, like, there's no outcome. Like, what's that girl's name? Candace Owens is going through a lawsuit. From what I understand, she's been going through this lawsuit for years. And she's got an attorney, so it's a little bit different. You could play the game a little differently when you got an attorney, because your attorney deals with all the stupid shit, right? Whereas I didn't have an attorney. But now I know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that deep for an attorney. That's just me personally. I didn't really take the whole thing serious because I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? But the um as far as these types of lawsuits, you need an attorney, because that attorney, and this is what I really believe, what I've learned from experience, people can drag this shit out over stupid shit. And you'll be sitting there wondering, what the fuck? So all Bishop T.D. Jakes will be doing, which is silly, because if he gets found, and allegations are one thing, found guilty is a whole other thing. So if you put these folks through a slander lawsuit and then come to find out you were actually found guilty, well, that's a bigger problem. That's an even bigger issue, because now every single one of them people can come back and sue you. And he's coming after what, influencers and stuff? That's crazy. But this is how I don't know what changed in the law process, but I feel like it's too easy to file a defamation claim. Way too easy. And for it to not to stick around and stick around and stick around and stick around. Candace Owens, or it's not Candace Owens. My bad, y'all. I keep saying Candace Owens. My bad, Candace Owens. That's not who it is. It's Candace Dillard. That's the one I'm talking about. Candace Dillard, the one on Love and Hip Hop. She's with she's going through litigation with Ashley's husband. Candace Owens won hers and ended up getting paid for the lie that was told. Candace Owens is also married to a white man that make money, that can afford an attorney and or has buddies that are attorneys. You see what I'm saying? That's a little different. So that's all I gotta say. I just think that people really need to understand. Something I've been saying a lot lately, and I noticed it, was what other people say about me don't really matter. It really ain't none of my business. And the reason why it's none of my business is because it don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it does absolutely nothing for me. You can have your thoughts. I cannot like your thoughts, but I shouldn't even know your thoughts enough to give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't like me, you don't like me. And I'm still going to show up as me. So that's where I'm at, y'all. Real talk. I don't, I just want to say that the better option when you're guilty, a person who's guilty wants to attack, needs to respond. You could tell, like, that's how they act. They run, they flee, right? It's like a person that with their back up against the wall. It's fight or flight. Person who's, you know it ain't true, you ain't gonna sweat that shit. That's most people. So, that's all I gotta say on it. Y'all, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.